Chicago, this is not a drill. A top-tier NFC playmaker with a knack for killing a game in the flat just slipped into a window that wasn't open yesterday. The kind of move that changes how defenses line up on 2nd and 8 and how they breathe on 3rd and 3. The clock's already ticking. The math just got friendlier. And if you follow the breadcrumb salary structure, snap usage, and a front office that knows exactly when to strike, you can feel what's coming before anyone says it out loud. You want urgency? It's here. The Bears have a young quarterback who thrives when the picture is clean and the answer is quick. That's what this rumor's about, making the picture cleaner and the answer quicker. This is not a fantasy splash for likes. It's a surgical piece for grown-up football, the kind that wins the 2 possessions that decide Sunday. No names yet? Earn it with me. Here's my promise. We'll connect the dots nobody else is putting on the same page. We'll start with Chicago's identity, move to the schedule pressure that forces real conversations, hit the cap logic that turns whispers into phone calls, then map the exact road that flips red zone stress into red zone certainty. If this move happens, it won't be a PR stunt. It'll be a plan. You're watching Bears News Fan Report. If you live for the details that separate noise from wins, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell me where you use a hammerback on the first drive of December. Let's lay our cards down. This offense is not an accident. It's a blueprint. A rule with speed to the edge, toughness in traffic, and route running from the backfield that keeps linebackers honest. The receivers command safety respect. The line wants to run downhill and then sell pass out of the same look. The quarterback's toolbox is expanding every week. Motion, sequencing, simple reads. What's missing is not hero ball. It's a high-trust outlet who turns a muddy rep into a manageable down. Now think about 4-minute football. Chicago needs to close games without showing the same pitch 3 times in a row. They need a back who blocks blitzers without flinching, catches with soft hands in chaos, and lives in the gray area between run and pass. A guy who knows when to slow down, when to bounce, and when to take the boring 5 yards that tilt a drive. That's not a luxury. That's structure. Zoom out to the league. The deadline squeezes ego out of buildings. Teams with uneven starts talk themselves into picks. Teams with rising young backs quietly reallocate touches. That's when a veteran with real value becomes available, not because he can't play, but because a front office wants cost control tomorrow more than comfort today. If you followed this league long enough, you know the profile. Chicago can play at that table. Mid-round capital? Check. Roster pieces that help special teams right away? Check. A staff that can fold a veteran into a committee without killing the room? Absolutely. Think 2-back sets that look the same but hit differently. The kind of sequencing that turns defensive rules into decisions and decisions into mistakes. The Bears don't need a savior. They need a multiplier. Now ask the hard question. Why would the seller even listen? Because younger legs are knocking and payroll has to breathe. Because you can't pay everyone. Because sometimes the smartest way to protect the locker room is to make a tough call before the calendar makes it for you. That's how "we're not moving him" becomes "what's your framework?" It happens quietly, then all at once. Name time. Alvin Kamara. Here's why it fits like a tailored suit. Kamara's game lives where this offense wants to live. Same shell. Different answers. Under center play action. He punishes soft nickels with draw speed and contact balance. Shotgun RPO. He turns a glance route into a linebacker's nightmare because his angle releases forced defenders to choose wrong twice. Check downs. He doesn't catch to survive. He catches to accelerate, flatten, and finish. Put him next to Dandre Swift, and you can swap alignments every other snap. Slot to pistol. Orbit to stack so the weak side hook can't settle. That's sequencing. That's stress. The price has to be adult. You're not buying yesterday's all-pro. You're paying for tomorrow's reliability. A conditional mid-rounder that escalates with snaps or playoff wins makes sense. Toss in a depth piece who plays teams, and you've got something both sides can defend in the building. Chicago keeps its premium picks, keeps its window flexible, and still adds a closer who changes how coordinators script Wednesday. Usage is the key. Cap him around 15 to 18 touches most weeks. Let Swift hunt space while Kamara dissects leverage. Build a three-play family that looks identical. Outside zone, quick flare, and angle. Same backfield look, three outcomes, all friendly to a young quarterback. Sprinkle in two-back screens, late motion to empty, and the occasional ISO against a safety who's already thinking about DJ Moore. That's how drives stay on schedule. What about risk? Age and mileage matter, so manage them. Don't ask for 25 carries. Ask for timing, third down poise, and red zone problem solving. If his touch count is the conversation, you're winning the larger conversation, second and manageable, third and short, 10-play drives that burn the clock and the will of a defense. The locker room piece? Veteran pros who don't talk loud, but play clean tend to land well. Culture helps. Chicago's is trending grown. There's also the scout intel side of this. If you see snap shares nudging younger, if you hear coaches praising fresh legs, that's not random. If the social breadcrumbs start follows, comments, a cryptic business is business. That's not gospel, but it's smoke. And this league rarely gives you smoke without at least a pilot flame nearby. If the phone lines heat up, Chicago can speak the language. Structure, not desperation. Now the counter-arguments. Why spend on a running back? Because you're not spending on a position. You're investing in clarity for a rookie quarterback. Why not wait until the offseason? Because the defense you face in November won't give you patience. It gives you windows. Won't this stun a young back? Not if you use it right. Veterans raise the floor, not just the ceiling. Let the room compete. Let the tape pick Sundays. Before I close, I want your take. Would you send a conditional 2026 pick plus a depth piece to roll out a Swift Kamara committee in Chicago? Where would you deploy him first 2-minute drill, red zone, or 4-minute kill? Who loses snaps? Who gains first downs? And what would be your snap threshold to trigger the pick escalation? Sound Off Below this channel pulls its best ideas from Bears Nation. My opinion. I do it. At the right price and with a strict touch plan. Because Kamara's skill set compresses the game for a young quarterback and expands the stress for every linebacker on the schedule. And yes, this is a rumor, a reading of the room and the market, a speculation built on timing and fit, not a confirmed deal.